Hello and welcome to Simon Tech Notes. My name is Christian and I'm part of the technical support team here. In this video, I will be going over the menu bar of XpanelDesigner. For starters, I'm going to open up XpanelDesigner. This is the menu bar that I'm referring to, so let's go over it. Within File, I notice that I can make a new page, I can open a page, I can close a page, and I can close all pages. I can create a new project, I can open a project, I can also close a project and clone a project or copy. I can save as, or save all for my project. I can convert it to a runtime to error check. I can compose one page of multiple pages. That would be frame editor. I have some print actions, so page setup, preview, and print. I can look at the most recently viewed pages. I can look at the most recently viewed projects, and I can also exit XpanelDesigner. Within edit, these would be options that would allow you to manipulate your project using functions like undo, redo, cut, copy, clone, paste, delete. You can select all, which will pick all the items on your canvas. And then you can find and replace for troubleshooting or error fixing. You can also do object configuration, which is the same thing as double clicking on one of your shapes. You can also insert a graphic file, which would be similar to taking a file from your computer and then storing it onto your XPanel. Also, you can insert an animation bitmap. Within draw, you'll see we have several shapes that you can draw. You can draw a text box. You can also do dynamic tags, which will show your strings, or show your analog or your digital values. We can look at date and time, string values, multi-language stream, because we do support multilingual X panels. And then we have trend graph, data logging. You can make a keypad window. You can do an alarm summary. You can make a basic switch lamp. You can link pages together. So if you make one change somewhere, all of them will be changed accordingly. You can look at the library that's already embedded within Simon's XpanelDesigner. When we look at the view option, we see that some of these tools are not on by default, but when you click on one, then it will be on by default when you open up XpanelDesigner in the future, and that's under the view menu. So these are all your tools that would be useful in the future. Under the online, this is how you're going to be communicating with your X panel. So you can set up the link and then you can choose between Ethernet or USB. You can download to the X panel. You can download the existing project, which is just kind of like a shortcut. It just doesn't take into consideration edits. So I always recommend using download to X panel. You can upload from the X panel. So you can take a project that's currently on an X panel and put it on your computer. You can upload from your PC to the storage. So um, or upload from storage to your PC, so your SD card. You can make an executing removable memory, which will allow you to store to a USB or an SD card and run the project from that. You can also stop and run the project from your designer on the X panel. You can also activate the VNC viewer from the X panel designer using these options. And then you can upgrade the firmware from the X panel and you can put it into repair mode, which is sort of like defaulting the X panel. So you remove the project from it in case there's a corruption on the X panel, and then you can re-download the project to the X panel. You can also use the touch calibration to recalibrate the X panel in case it's unresponsive to touch or just performing unreasonably. You can also arrange objects on your canvas with the options provided here. You can group, you can ungroup, you can do an undo, which would regroup. You can change the position on the canvas. You can arrange it so you can have horizontal center and vertical center. You can rotate it 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise. You can flip it horizontally or vertically, like a mirror image, and then you can enable snap. You can do some point change. You can do grid configurations. You can make or break a symbol. Within tools, we have a page setup and user library edit. We can run the simulator from here. So you can either run the simulator as you intend it to with its first page, or you can just run from the active page. So the caveat here is you have to have XpanelDesigner running as administrator to use the simulator. Also, you can look at the items here, which are similar to the project tree over here, as we have project going all the way down to animation editor from top to bottom. So these are the same items over there. So we have alarm, security, IO devices, database, project, scripts, data logging, string editor, data server, system data area, recipe, data bridge, animation editor. And in future videos, we will be going over these items, but not in this video. You could do a cross reference to check between to see if where you used an item within the project. This is where you would do your multi-language setup. You can perform a schedule on the XPanel Designer if you want, and then you can load CIMON's variable table by importing it, and then you can also configure some special features on the XPanel using XPanel configuration. Last but not least, one of the most useful tools on XPanel Designer would be the help file. If you click on this, we have a very extensive help file to help you with anything you have a question about. You can also look at the version number and the firmware version of your XPanel and your XPanel Designer with using these two options. Thank you for watching.